Everyone thinks Frisco is a rich Dallas suburb, but this map tour shows a completely different story. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly where you should live in Frisco, Texas, and more importantly, areas you may want to avoid altogether. Now, in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what Frisco, Texas is like, everything from the day-to-day, not just the social media highlights you see. So this video is going to be perfect if you're considering relocating from out of state or just stuck deciding between Plano, McKinney, Frisco, or Prosper. Stay with me because the last section changes how people view Frisco entirely. Let's jump right in, and the first thing we'll need to do is zoom out on Frisco as a whole. So this red outline is Frisco, and if you see me looking at the map. So we have Frisco here, and if we zoom out, you'll see Dallas is down here, just south of you. 2 easy roads to get there, no problems. You have Fort Worth over to the west, and then you've got Denton and Plano down here. Now, Frisco sits right in the heart of a lot of major growth. Denton's starting to boom. Everywhere north of 380 right here is starting to boom. And it's just north of Dallas, so it's not too far. So you'll see a lot of people that work in Dallas that don't want to pay Dallas prices and premiums, or just like the feel of Frisco a little bit better. Now, this was a lot of planned growth, and let's talk about the roads that helped plan that, because ultimately, the more convenient it is to get to the major job hubs, the more desirable the suburb. So you've got 4 main roads in Frisco. You have the Dallas North Tollway here that runs north and south. Now, of course, that is a tollway. And if we follow it down, you see you can get all the way down to Dallas. Some great pockets down in Dallas right here, but we're on Frisco. But the other good news is, should you be working in Salina, or do you later down the road decide you like Salina's price point a little bit more? Average price point in Salina is about $550, Frisco $700. You've got the Dallas North Tollway that they are working on extending up into Salina. So right now it ends about right in here, but Salina is only about 45 minutes to an hour and 15 from Dallas, depending which part of Salina you're in. Now, the other major road that's going to be your north-south is Highway 289 or Preston Road. As you can see, that also goes up into Salina, but it also goes down into Dallas. So if you want to avoid tolls, that is a great way to do it. And these 2 roads are going to divide West Plano from East Plano. Now, your 2 roads that are going to get you east to west are going to be Sam Rayburn Tollway, also known as 121. That is super convenient for if you need to go to the airport. You'll hop on, go over. You've got the DFW airport over here, so it's convenient for that. Or if you need to get up into McKinney from Frisco, you'll take 121 to 75. The other main road, which I'm sure if you've done any little bit of research, you've probably heard some horror stories about 380, most of which are probably true, but they have done some significant improvements over the last couple years to help. They just opened the overpasses. They're working on extending it. So it's not as bad as it used to be. There's definitely still a lot of traffic though, especially if you have to go to Princeton for work or anywhere over here and take 380. I would personally not choose 380 just because of the traffic. If I had to work in McKinney, I'm going to choose somewhere where I have to take 75 to get to and from, or if I can take like some of these back roads. This is the outer loop that just opened up, Collin County outer loop, so super convenient for that. So those are going to be how you get around in and around Frisco and 2 other suburbs. This is kind of where a lot of people's expectations start to crack a little bit. Frisco really doesn't look all that big on the map, but getting around takes a lot longer than what it looks. From the north end to south end of Frisco can be easy 20-30 minutes. So it really is its own little town. And one of the new developments that we'll talk about up here in a minute, the Fields, is being dubbed the 15-minute city, which we'll get into a little bit later. What you'll find is a lot of your north-south travel is a lot easier and flows a lot faster versus some of your east or west. You'll feel a little bit more backed up. Rayburn Tollway is definitely the best east-west compared to Highway 380, just because 380 has so many stoplights on it versus Sam Rayburn Tollway. You got to pay for it, but it's just wide open, 70, 80 miles an hour. That is the one thing about Frisco, is a lot of your travel is super toll dependent. So when you move here, I would definitely budget for that. A lot of people can spend anywhere from $100 to $400+ a month on tolls. Be sure to budget for that if you plan to take tolls. If not, just plan to spend a little bit longer in the car. Now, some of the major spots are going to be Legacy West, that's down here, which is great and totally doable to drive from. But something to think about is a couple of homes just a few miles apart in Frisco have a completely different feel to them, and they'll feel like completely different lifestyles. So we want to make sure we get you a home, if you move to Frisco, that fits your lifestyle and your needs so that you enjoy life here. That's why a lot of people really love Frisco their first year here, but end up not liking it. Is because they chose the wrong suburb, because they viewed Frisco as one whole. Okay, now let's talk different sections of Frisco. So you've got, like I said, you've got the east side over here, which is generally a little bit older, may have a little bit lower price points, generally lower HOA dues. But that's not a bad thing. That may be a great entry point to you, but it's also super convenient to get around because this side is a lot closer to 121 if you need to get into McKinney or take 121 over to Plano. Plano is right here, so it's not far. We'll zoom out. Plano, McKinney, Prosper, and Salina. Those are kind of your main areas right now. A lot of your jobs are going to be in Plano. Carrollton's a big one, and of course Dallas. But you also, once you get on 121, you can get to the Dallas North Tollway and go north or south pretty easily. So it is a big convenience factor, but there are still some new developments over on the east side. You've got the Grove right here, which prices start in the 600s. I want to say they have some townhomes in here as well. I haven't gotten confirmation on that, but there was some talks of them. And they're pretty big lots. You can see 65-foot lot. Chesmar, not a bad builder at all. So you've got some good options. If you still want new construction, you're not just forced to the north end to make your commute a little bit longer. Now, the west side, this tends to be a lot more of your luxury side. Phillips Creek Ranch is, I don't know why it keeps doing that. Phillips Creek Ranch is a luxury price point. It's a newer neighborhood. Started in the late 2010s, like 2017 or so. These are going to be a lot of your luxury homes in here. Now, if you want a great retirement community, you have Del Webb, which a lot of these are like 2-bedroom homes. There are some 3-bedroom, a little bit higher HOA, but they take care of all of your maintenance. You've got Phillips Creek. Another really good one is Cheyenne Village. And we'll tap into this one for a second. A lot of the homes here, 700 plus. They kind of, I've seen a few tickle $1 million, but for the most part, they're like that $7 to $1 million range. A lot of these homes are early 2000s, but have been remodeled. But people really love this neighborhood because Allen Elementary, or they want a Christian private education. So you've got Legacy Christian Academy that backs up into the neighborhood. So you'll have a lot of LCA families here. If that's something important to you, then keep that in mind. Now, something else to note about some of Frisco, if you can see right here, there is a train track and there is a train. Now, I have held plenty of open houses. This home right now, currently on the market, if you want a great $925, they just dropped the price. With a pool and basketball court, you can't really hear it. Of course, when you're outside, you can hear it, but they've got to slow down to below 35 miles an hour. It's a cargo-only train, no passengers, and most of the time they're going well below 35. But keep that in mind, it's something to consider. Okay, so we kind of covered east and west, and be sure to subscribe and reach out if you have any questions or comment any questions you have. I'm happy to answer them. This is a really broad view. I've got several videos in the pipeline ready to drop on specifics to like Phillips Creek, the Fields, the Grove, some of these other neighborhoods. So if you have any questions on those or are planning to relocate, reach out to me. I've helped numerous families relocate here to the North Texas suburbs from all over, everywhere from California, Georgia, everywhere in between. So I'm here to be a resource for you and help make a smooth transition. But let's talk about North Frisco a little bit. North Frisco is really the next big thing for here in Frisco. And the reason for that is they have a lot going on up here. All right, there's several things. So first we'll get into the Fields of Frisco, which is a 2,500 acre, $15 billion development. So it's a lot of money, but you also have Universal Kids Resort going in right across from the Fields, and you have PGA Frisco and the Omni Resort. Now let's sit here for a little bit and just chat about it. Now, earlier I said average price point is 500s, or sorry, that's Salina. Average price point in Frisco is 700s. Where I was getting at was the 500s is East Village over here, which it's not shown on the map. They actually have some homes built. I'll overlay some drone footage. They have 2,500 square foot, 4-bedroom homes starting at $509,000 right now. Brand new construction. So you're going to get those builder incentives. Really great deal if you want to live in Frisco and still get a great value. You're not going to have to buy a little bit more older, I don't want to say a rundown, but dated home that you might if you bought in a little bit older Frisco. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, I'm going to be doing a video over all the sections of the Fields at Frisco. The Preserve, you're going to see homes start in the 8s and very easily get into the 2 millions. If you want your luxury, you're going to have luxury. There's a gated section. And I don't know if this is true. I've heard some talks about from East Village over to Fields West, they're going to build a tunnel under the road so you don't have to cross any main roads. Don't hold me to that. That's just some of the rumors I've heard. You're also going to have Fields West, which is going to be a huge multi-commercial, multi-use space where you're going to have food shops. The goal, which we'll talk about in a minute, is there's Legacy West down here. They kind of want to turn this into Frisco's Legacy West. So they've got that coming, and they've dubbed this the 15-minute city. And the whole thought behind that is you're going to have everything you need within 15 minutes, and really a lot of it between walking or biking. So it's going to be super convenient for you. And what's great is in the Fields, all these neighborhoods connect without having to cross a main road. So if your kids, make friends with another kid over in this section, you're not going to have to worry about, little Timmy having to cross Dallas North Tollway. So that's super good. And Frisco's rated one of the safest cities. So it's a win-win there. But that's kind of breakdown of the North. This is really the growth and future, which makes sense because then you have Prosper that's booming. Then you have Salina that's booming up here. And you've got Windsong Ranch, which is great because it's just across the street. Make friends with someone in Windsong Ranch, you get to use their 5-acre Crystal Lagoon. So that's great. That's kind of a breakdown of the different sections really quick. So I hope that makes sense and was informative. We'll recap. North side is a lot of your newer construction and future growth. Prices start in the 500s up here. This section is more your luxury. Not that there aren't homes in the 500s. You can trip in Frisco or pick anywhere on the map and you're going to find $1 million home. So this is more of your luxury area, a little bit older. You'll find a lot of pro athletes move here because the Star is right here. And this is just good old Frisco, just the root of it. But we do need to talk about if you're a historic person. They have the Frisco Square, which is going to be, they're going to have everything you need here. So this is super cool. It's like downtown Frisco. You got Toyota Stadium. And then this is like historic downtown. One of my buddies bought a home over here. And what's cool is down Main Street, you need to go, if you move to Frisco or anywhere in North Texas, you need to go to Randy's Steakhouse. Absolutely incredible. But this is all walkable eats and shopping. You got Summer Moon Coffee, which is great. You've got the game show experience, which is just a ton of fun. If you have family in town, you need to take them to do this. Really cool and interactive. So as you can see, all down Main Street, you've got all sorts of eats. This is under construction, but they should be wrapping it up pretty soon. So right now it is a little bit of a mess, but they had to widen the road. That is cool. If you're more of historic, want older homes, that's going to be your place. But let's talk about, I think, the #1 reason people choose Frisco, Texas. And that's going to be Frisco ISD. If you didn't know, Frisco is one of the highest ranked school districts in all of Texas, and it's super sought after. Now, that's kind of the quiet reason why Frisco prices have jumped so aggressively is you have the Frisco ISD reputation. It's all conveniently located. You can hop on any toll road, get north super quick, down to Dallas, over to Plano and McKinney, all just like that. So it's super conveniently located. And what you'll see is if you were to go just across the street, if it's in Frisco ISD, home prices are significantly higher, and you can take the same home that's in Frisco ISD versus just one street over not in Frisco ISD, and it's going to be a huge price jump difference. So what you're getting here is you're really not buying a house, you're buying a secure future, because since it is so desirable, when there are dips in the market, it's not as sharp as a dip because it's so desirable. So keep that in mind. When you buy here, you see a lot more price stability and year-over-year appreciation compared to surrounding areas. Now, let's get right into kind of what is there to do in Frisco. There's plenty to do. Like we just talked about, There's a downtown square if you want to go walk around and do all your shopping. Of course, you have Stonebriar Mall right here for all your needs. iFlight's an indoor skydiving place. That's pretty cool. If you're baseball, you've got the Rangers AAA team, the Frisco Rough Riders. That's super fun. I remember going there as a kid all the time. Always super cool experience. And you've got plenty of shopping and dining here. Now, other super cool thing is you have the Star. Now, this is the Dallas Cowboys' new practice facility. As you can see there, you can go there and watch them practice. They also have this field here that stop that. There's a big screen right here that you can watch the game on this field. They've got tons of shopping and dining and all that. PGA Frisco up here if you want to golf. There's plenty of golfing. There's a few other golf courses as well. That's going to be, I don't golf, so if there's a better golf course, don't hold me to it. But PGA Frisco I've heard is the best and makes a lot of sense because it's PGA headquarters. So they're going to keep the courses the best. You also, just outside of Frisco, this is Plano, you have Legacy West, which has all of your shopping and dining you need. I mean, there's sandwich shops, Starbucks, shopping. It's super cool and convenient. It's not really my cup of tea, to go walk around and shop, but it's convenient, and for sure, it's a great meeting place if you're meeting someone from Dallas. Go grab a bite to eat. That's mainly what I've used it for. Now, you also have Shields, which if you haven't been, they've got everything, sports, outdoors, furniture, fishing, hunting. Like I said, plenty of sports, anything you need on that. They've got all sorts of sports. They've got a candy wall, everything. It's a really cool store for all your outdoor needs. And then, of course, when you move here, you need to buy furniture. You've got Nebraska Furniture Mart there. So, you got everything you need as far as lifestyle, all up and down Preston Road. There's going to be tons of eats, shopping. The north end of Frisco up here does have an HEB, which is great. HEB is my favorite and go to, but you still have Walmarts and Kroger's and Costco's that are everywhere. So no matter where you live, it's not like you've got to drive super far for anything. It's kind of why it's one of the most convenient cities here in North Texas. Now let's talk about who Frisco is for and who it isn't for. Frisco is going to be for families because there's so many sports and organized and people here. And like I said, a lot of great amenities, Universal Kids. You've got everything you need for kids, parks, playgrounds, everything. So it's great for families that have kids. It's also good if you like structured lifestyles, to where if you're like me and routinely forget to stop and get stuff on your way home while you're out, it's not an inconvenience to go grab something. It's also great for, of course, people that are just moving here for the school district. That's one of the biggest reasons people move here, is either Frisco or Prosper ISD. Those are kind of the top two school districts here, and don't take it from me. Look it up on texasschool.gov, I think is the site. I'll reference it. But great school districts. That's who it's really going to cater towards. Who it's not here, unless you move into the square, it's not super walkable. For sure not for work. There's not a lot of public transportation, so it's not super walkable. But it also doesn't have a ton of nightlife, so if that's something important to you, you're gonna have to zoom out here and drive down to Dallas, somewhere closer to Dallas or Fort Worth for that. It's also not gonna be for people that are allergic or hate HOAs. It's really hard to find a place in Frisco that doesn't have an HOA. So, and the HOA prices range a lot, anywhere from $300-400 a year up to well over $100 a month. So if that's something you want to avoid an HOA, reach out to me. We can make sure we find you a great place that accomplishes that. So as you can see, Frisco is perfect for one type of buyer and a nightmare for another. So let's recap some of the pros and cons of Frisco. Of course, it's one of the safest cities. You can go look that up and verify that. Don't just take it from me. You have the top school districts here in Texas that your kids are going to get to attend, get a great education. Infrastructure is already here, so there's not a ton more construction going on as far as compared to like Prosper or Salina or 75 as you get further north. A lot of it's already built out, so the infrastructure is already here. And then of course, you know you're going to get that long-term appreciation. Frisco is a proven city that people want to move here to. You've got more growth going in. The Fields and the Grove are really like some of the last pieces of undeveloped areas, which they'll be building for years. And once those are done, it's just going to continue to boom. Like, you've got those schools we talked about, great convenience to and from work, all of that, and you've locked that in. So you know that you're gonna have a lot safer buy here long-term versus other more volatile markets. Now, some of the cons is with everyone moving here, you are seeing an increase in traffic, and it's kind of hard to get around when you move to a big city. You're gonna have to deal with traffic. That may not be a con for you, especially if you're moving from another major metropolitan area. You may already be used to that. Another con too is the price of entry. Like I said, average price point is about 700,000, but there are some new construction options in 500s, and you can find some pre-owns well below the 500 mark. Just know they may be a little bit more dated, but you're still going to get that great school district. So that's a pro and con way off you have to think about. If you choose the right area, Frisco is absolutely incredible and you're going to love it. But if you choose wrong, you're going to be ready to move again in 2 years. So we want to avoid that. Be sure to reach out to me. Make sure we get you in the right pocket of Frisco that matches your lifestyle and budget. And feel free, all my contact info is below. You can link a Zoom call if you'd like, or just shoot me a text or email. And we can make sure to set up and make a smooth move and transition to you here in North Texas, whether that's Frisco or another northern suburb.